I'm going to tell you a Bible story. I love stories in the Bible. How many people here have their Bible? Who brought their Bible?
I do.
I'm going to tell you a story from Joshua chapter 7. If you brought your Bible, you can find Joshua chapter 7. I'm going to read a verse from there. But before I read that verse, let me tell you the story coming up to it. God had a special people, the Israelites, and God brought them out of Egypt. And he used Moses to lead them out of Egypt, and he brought them to the promised land. And they took a long way to get there, but finally they got there. And Joshua was in charge. Joshua was their leader after Moses, and he was leading them into battle. See, the people in the promised land, they had to conquer their cities, and God was leading them in a powerful way. The first battle they fought was Jericho. Who knows that story? Oh, that's a good story, that when they walk around the wall 7 times. And after doing that 7 times, 7 days, on the last time, they all shout, and the walls come tumbling down. That was quite a miracle. And they destroyed that city, and they killed everyone except for Rahab and everyone that was in her house, because God was protecting her. She knew that it was God bringing the people in, so she was obedient to God. So they finished that battle, and they were feeling pretty good about themselves. They were having a good time. They knew that God was on their side, and they were going to go to the next battle. The next battle, it was a city called Ai. And so Joshua sent some spies over to Ai, see how big the city was, see how many they were, and the spies come back and they said, well, after finishing Jericho, I think we can take this city with not everybody. We'll just send a few thousand. So that's what they did. We'll send 3,000 soldiers over to Ai, and we'll defeat them, and it'll be easy. God is on our side, and we're going to defeat them. But you know what happened? That's not what happened. They didn't defeat them. They started fighting and fighting. They started losing. And then they ran away. They got scared and ran away. And people of Ai, they killed some of them. They killed like 63, I think. And they lost that battle. And the news got back to Joshua, and he was so upset. He was so sad. The Bible says he got down on his hands and knees, and he started talking to God. Why did we lose? Why did we lose this battle? And Joshua was so confused. He thought God was on his side. So he's asking God, where were you? We lost the battle. How did this happen? Hang on, let me find the right verse. Okay. Okay, let's go to verse 12. Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you any more, except ye destroy the accursed thing from among you. See, what happened was, one of the guys that fought in Jericho, he saw something. He saw some nice clothes. They were really nice clothes. See, God told them, destroy everything. Burn it all. He saw some money. He saw some really nice clothes. He looked at it, and he looked at it, and he coveted it. He was thinking in his heart, I really, really want that. It is really nice clothes. It's really nice money. And so he took it. And that was disobedient. God told him not to take anything out of the city. And he took it and he hid it. He hid it under his tent. And nobody knew about it. Nobody knew about it, but God knew. God said, he told Joshua that he's not going to go with them into battle as long as that cursed thing was in the camp. And so he told Joshua, go to the people, and I will tell you who has the cursed thing. And Joshua gathered up all the people, and he went house by house, tribe by tribe, and then he went down to each family, and then he went down to each man, and God told him, it's this man, his name is Achan. He took and he stole that I told him not to. And so Joshua and all the people, they were obedient to God, and they took that cursed thing and they burnt it, and he had to punish Achan and all his family. They had to die because of what he did. And then they went back to Ai, and this time God told them how to win. This time they sent the 3,000 to the front of the city, and they started fighting, and they started to run again. But this time God told them to hide the rest of the army behind the city. And when they got all the army out of the city, they ambushed the city, and then they won. And I want to tell you that when Achan took the clothes and the money and hid it, that's like when we have sin in our life, when we're trying to hide sin. And you know what? God is not going to go with us as long as we have that sin in our heart and we're hiding that sin. You know what? No one knows about it. Maybe no one in your family knows about it. Maybe no one at church knows about it. But God knows. And He can't go with you. And you know what? God has a plan for you. God has a special plan for you. He wants you to grow up and learn some good habits. And God wants you to grow up and get rid of some bad habits. God wants to use you to be a blessing to other people. And God wants to use you to encourage people and to build other people up and to share the gospel. But He can't go with you if you keep that sin in your heart. You know, sin separates us from God. That's very important. That's a very big deal, even if it's a small sin. That will separate us from God, and God cannot go with us to fight spiritual battles that He has for us. So we need to keep our hearts clean. We need to keep our hearts clear. Does anyone have an idea of how we do that?
Yeah.
Rella, do you know?
We pray every day and we read our Bible.
Yeah. We pray and we ask for forgiveness. We might pray a prayer like David did one time. He said, "Search my heart and know my thoughts and see if there be any wicked way within me." That's a good prayer to pray. Maybe you could pray that every day just to make sure there's nothing between me and God. Just to make sure that I'm right with God and I'm going to win the next battle for the day. And God, He loves us so much. If we ask Him to forgive us, He'll always forgive us.
Where's the mom and dad back?
So, make sure you keep that sin out of your heart. And make sure you confess it and ask for forgiveness whenever you need to. And you can be sure that God will go with you when you have those very, very difficult times. We want to make sure that God is with us. That's it.
All right. Thank you, brother.